We are back. It's a Friday, August the 6th, my friends, live in the Trustmark studios where you've got 130 years valuable experience in institutional banking, commercial checking, and savings. Trustmark member FDIC in the house. It is Trent Kelly, Mississippi Congressman, 1st District. Ready to rock and roll. Is everything okay as far as the campaign for the next election?
We're working hard and going out throughout the district during August like we always do. I usually try to hit every county during August.
Yeah. So. This is a good time to do that, but the weather is not the best in the world. But
it's actually hotter in D.C., but that may be
really?
The people that are up there.
I want to ask you about the border, too, because that is something's got to happen with this one. It's not getting the coverage that it should from the mainstream media for obvious reasons. They'll go back to a Trump story instead of covering this. But it is just catastrophic what is going on, and it is beginning to affect the state of Mississippi as well as all the southern states. And I think in some part, when you see that COVID map, maybe not as much for Mississippi, but certainly for Texas and Arizona and places such as that. Over in the Senate, Ted Cruz said this yesterday.
I challenge my colleagues on the committee, go look at the Biden cages. I've seen them, cage after cage after cage of little boys and little girls packed in 1,700% capacity. COVID rate of positivity, 10%. Go look at the children that are paying the price for this failed immigration policy. And let's be clear, this crisis is the direct result of decisions made by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The very first week in office, Joe Biden immediately halted construction of the border wall.
One of the most insane things that this administration has said it's a cause from the Trump administration.
Oh, well, you don't hear about the cages anymore. You know, Obama built them. They blamed Trump for them and talked about them every day. And now they're back with Biden. Over 1 million people have been caught coming across the border. No telling how many more millions have come across that we don't know about. Yep. Spreading COVID. They catch them. Even if they have COVID, they release them without even a mask into our populace.
Have you been down there?
I have been down there. It is it's sad. But it starts with him encouraging people to come over. But then when you have people in real need, like in Cuba, he tells them, if you get on a boat and come to the U.S., we'll deny you access, even though you're being truly persecuted and killed.
Here's what's it is worrisome. If everybody thought, the experts thought, that when it got hot, specifically in the Mexican area and in the deserts there coming across and in southern parts of this country, the things are going to taper off. Historically, they do. They temper off a little bit or taper off. And then they've gone record high. What's going to happen in the next cooling period?
I think the numbers are going to continue to go up until we do something to stem the flow. I mean, why would you not when you've got a presidential administration telling you to come on over? There's no consequences for coming over. What are you going to do? And, you know, these coyotes are punishing these kids. They're running them across. They're getting paid for it, and they don't care if they live or die.
It's just as an analogy, I feel like Uncle Sam is running in a race, and he's getting cramps trying to make it to the midterms. You know, just getting a hamstring.
Absolutely.
You know? And can we make it to the midterms?
I know we need to at least be able to check some of the crazy policies of the administration. It's like the rent moratorium. I mean, you couldn't pass it in the House. They were 12 votes short. Then we get blamed for it because they can't pass a bill they want to pass. And then the Biden administration unconstitutionally and illegally just extends it with no authority.
Were you invited to be part of the hearing as far as Pelosi on the Capitol siege?
No, I was not. I told someone, my friend Jim Banks, who's a real close friend of mine, of course, he was kicked off the commission. That shows you they're not serious about it. What they want to do is they have a political agenda that they're trying to run, and that's all they've ever done this whole time.
It is interesting, and a guy who would not be there had Trump won is Christopher Wray. I don't think Christopher Wray would, but he was before the hearing, and he was asked this
Mr.
question.
Ray, do you know who executed Ashley Babbitt?
No, I don't know the name of the person who was
so do you agree that Ashley Babbitt was unarmed?
No, I really can't weigh in on the facts and circumstances of that case. As you may know, that was investigated by the D.C. Metro's Internal Affairs Department with the DOJ Civil Rights Division and the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the FBI was not investigative agents.
Yeah, it's disturbing. The Capitol Police officer that did the shooting, Ashley Babbitt, appeared to be hiding, lying in wait, and they gave no warning before killing her. Question again, why hasn't that officer that executed Ashley Babbitt been named when police officers around the country are routinely identified after a shooting?
Comment on that case. It's not one that we've been directly involved in, so I really can't agree or disagree with your characterization.
Sounds good.
It is kind of daunting how that's been swept under the rug.
Well, I mean, the whole thing, Pelosi was in charge of security as the Speaker of the House, and she did not have them ready. And it's amazing. They want to defund the police on one hand, but they want their little private security details. I mean, I know when I fly into Memphis, there's one person who always has a police escort to the airport. I don't have one. I don't think it's fair. They want to defund everyone else's police, but they want their own private security.
And ironically, your life has been threatened more than hers.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've actually been shot at.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how's the baseball team?
It's going to be good. I think we've got a chance to win this year. Number one, their best pitcher went to the administration, Cedric Richmond, so that means they're going to have to get a new pitcher. And we've got a guy who played at Air Force Academy, and I think we're much better. I think we're going to win this year.
Who is that?
August Pfluger from Texas, F-22 pilot. Man,
he's got a fastball?
He's got a fastball.
How much?
And, well, he's probably throwing around 80. I would say 75 to 80. So he pitched at Air Force.
How old is the guy?
He's in probably like late 30s, early 40s, so lots younger than me. I'm telling you, youth matters. When you're over 50, there's not much good baseball left.
What are you playing? What position are you playing?
So I am coaching, helping to coach this year, and I'm going to bat. I am not going to play third. I've been the starting third baseman for 3 years, but I'm not going to.
Designated batter.
Absolutely. So we have hitters, and then we have fielders, and so I still hit pretty well, but my arm's not what it used to be.
You guys played in at the stadium in Washington?
Yeah, the Nat Stadium.
Stadium?
I got to play in front of 25,000 fans. That was the year of the Scalise shooting, and there were 25,000 fans. There's usually over 20, and we raise over $1 million or $1.5 million for local charities there in D.C. every year, so it's a worthwhile cause.
You think about that day on the practice field?
I try not to, but you know, stuff like that never goes away. You know, you can either, I tell people all the time, I'm going to live life. I'm more scared of not living than I am of dying. And so I think you just have to go out there every day and live every day to its fullest.
What about the military service?
Well, I'm still serving, still love it. It's one of the greatest things that I've ever done. So I'm over 35 years, and I know it'll come to an end sometime. But until it does, I'm going to maximize it and help soldiers as much as I can.
If the Republicans are lucky enough to gain the majority, I mean, what are you looking forward to as far as possible committee chairmanships or things such as that?
Well, I'm the ranking member on the Intelligence and Special Operations Subcommittee, and so I will be the chairman of that should we flip the House. And it's much different. You get to control the agenda, and you get to do some of this crazy stuff.
All these stupid hearings will go away.
I know. We have hearings about things that don't matter or not in the subject matter, and it's all about politicizing. So I'm ready to get back to business.
Were you there on the day of the siege?
Yes, I was there. I was not on the floor. I had been on the floor earlier, and I had left because sometimes you just get that sixth sense that stuff's getting kind of testy, and so I was in my office, and we sat there, and they were everywhere, and definitely broke through, you know, I hope we never have another day like that again. Listen, I don't condone any of that stuff, but they need to really do a fact-finding and fault-finding mission rather than trying to turn this into something that it's not.
It is hard for me to believe that the Trump supporters, the true Trump supporters, which made up the majority of those people who went there, I mean, the people in some of these rural areas, country folks, city folks, all of these people, it's hard for me to believe that they thought that this would be a good idea to go into the Capitol, to destroy it, to think that they were going to make some monumental thing happen as to take over the United States of America. It just doesn't make sense.
It's the mob mentality, and it never works, Paul.
I know. Good seeing you, sir.
Yes, sir. You too.
Stay safe on your travels and walking, or not walking across, but traveling across the district. So be careful.
All right, thanks.
You got it.